Good morning, everyone. Yesterday we were talking about the gate terminology. In that we had just finished about the power generation. Then what are the distance and what are the temporal variables that already finished now. So today we will talk about what is the power absorption. So as we yesterday I was talking about the power generation. Today I will talk about the power absorption. So what is power absorption into the gate terminology? So power absorption means when work is negative in value, and the internal and joint angular velocity are acting in opposite direction, and eccentric contraction is indicated and mechanical energy is being absorbed. So basically, what is power absorption? So power absorption means it is a negative in value. First of all, power is in negative in a value, plus the internal as well as the joint angular velocity, which are acting in a opposite. They both are acting as in a opposite direction. Next, it is an eccentric contraction which is indicated, and also it is in mechanical energy which is being absorbed during the walking. So this is about the power absorption. Now they do negative work and reduce the energy of the body. So as we are starting walking continuously, or as we are starting walking or jogging or fast walking, so due to that our body's energy will be always absorbed due to because the muscle are working more, as well as not only muscle but obviously other structure of the body also work more. So because of that, they require more energy, and due to that the power will be absorbed more, the energy will be absorbed more, and due to that power will be absorbed more. So this is about the power absorption. Next we will talk about the joint motion. So what is joint motion? Now joint motion, which is mainly we measure joint motion into this plane or axis. Like first we will talk about in this we will talk about the sagittal plane and joint angle. So what is the meaning of sagittal plane as well as the joint angle? So the sagittal plane joint angles are derived from the three-dimensional analysis. So approximately range of motion and time of occurrence of the maximum flexion and extension position for each major joint may be determined by examining the joint angle. So when we want to measure the range of motion as well as the time, so at that time the joint motion like flexion or extension, that is mainly examined by the joint angle. So if we want to, for example, if we want to measure the range of the knee flexion movement, so at that time we have to measure a joint angle movement of the knee joint. So because of that we can measure easily about the bone's position, as well as the motion of the we can measure easily about the motion of the bone as well as the motion of the joint angle. So as I will show you about the sagittal plane in joint angles. So there is one figure I can show you. Like I will put it in a slide share. So this is about the, I hope you can see. Okay, so one person, they put some electrodes into the body, and there is a force plate. Okay, so when we want to measure about the joint angle as well as the movement of the bone, as well as if we want to measure the muscle action also, so at that time we will use force plate. So with the help of the force plate we can measure about the joint angle, as well as we can also measure about the like muscle action, as well as the what kind of affection is there into their walking. So with the help of the force plate we can measure this amount. So they fitted so many electrodes into the body, mainly into the leg. So they fitted electrode like passive reflective magnetizer, as well as infrared video cameras. So this is about the force plate. So we can mainly measure like this is the setup of the gate lab. So this kind of setup is there for the gate lab, like for to measure the gait or to assess the gait of the patient or for the particular person. So this kind of setup is like you can see this yellow mark which is the force plate. Like in this yellow mark, if the patient will walk into this yellow mark, there are some electrode which are fitted onto the patient or person's body. So with the help of this electrode, we can easily measure about the gait analysis of the patient. So there are some setup over here also, like you can see this is the camera, this is the light, laser, you can say camera, light, laser. There are so many things that include into the gait lab. So next we will talk about that how the heel strike to foot flat joint motion will be occur. So today I will explain about it. So during the heel strike to foot flat, so first portion of the stance wise heel strike to foot flat. So during this joint motion, mainly hip will going into the 30-degree flexion, knee will into the flexion about 0 to 15 degree, as well as ankle which is into the plantar flexion about 0 to 15 degree. If we wanted to know the accurate range of the joints, then you have to measure properly into during the when the patient is walking. So basically this is the normal range they given into the book, like Cynthia Norking. So heel strike to foot flat joint motion, into that hip is always into the 30-degree flexion, knee is about 0 to 15 degree into the flexion, and ankle is about to 0 to 15 degree of the plantar flexion. So this movement is mainly occur. Now what are the muscle will work during the heel strike phase? So during the heel strike to foot flat, what are the muscle will work? So at the walking will start, at that time tibialis anterior will be mainly it will be into the eccentric tibialis anterior will do the eccentric muscle contraction work. Now we will talk about joint wise, like hip joint, knee joint and ankle joint. So during the heel strike to foot flat, the hip joint will work with the help of the erector spinae, gluteus maximus and hamstring. So basically these three muscle will work into the hip joint. Second is knee joint. So into the knee joint, like quadricep contraction, quadricep will work as a contact initially to the hold the knee into the extension position, as well as eccentrically. It will also work eccentrically. So first quadricep will work as a concentrically to hold the knee into the extension position, and after that it will work eccentrically to oppose the flexion moment and control the amount of the flexion. So this is about the knee joint. Now ankle joint, like into the ankle joint, it is a pretibial group act eccentrically. So tibialis anterior and tibialis posterior muscle will work as a eccentrically to oppose the plantar flexion to complete the movement of the plantar flexion. Now thereby to prevent the foot slip by controlling the plantar flexion. So first they will this pretibial group muscle which will work as an eccentrically to complete the movement of the plantar flexion, as well as after that immediately they will work as an concentrically to prevent the foot slip by controlling the plantar flexion. So this is about the hip joint, knee joint and the ankle joint muscle work during the time of the heel strike to foot flat. So next is foot flat through mid stance. So after the completing of this after the completing of the heel strike to foot flat, now we will talk about the foot flat to mid stance. So at that time, hip joint will work as in 30 degree flexion to 5 degree into the neutral position. So hip joint which will work as a 30 degree of flexion and to 5 degree of the neutral position. Now knee will work as an the knee joint which will work as an knee will as you know into the foot flat position. The knee is into the extension position like 15 degree to 5 degree or 5 degree, and ankle into the plantar flexion position like 15 degree to plantar flexion position and 10 degree into the dorsiflexion position. So this is about the foot flat through mid stance, like how the muscle will work like from the foot flat to mid stance. So in this foot flat through mid stance, what are the muscle will work? So in hip joint, the gluteus maximus muscle which will work as an eccentrically at the beginning of the period of the flexion movement, and then activity will cease as the moment changes from flexion to extension. So first, when the hip into the flexion position, at that time gluteus maximum will work as an maximus which will work as an eccentric into the eccentric position, and then as the movement will progress. So at that time, when into the flexion to extension position of the hip joint, at that time gluteus maximum will work as in concentrically. Now into the knee joint, quadriceps contracts in early part and then no activity is required. So the knee joint into the extension position in the starting of the foot flat position. So at that time quadricep contraction will be occur, but after that there is no activity of the quadricep muscle will required during at the time of the foot flat to mid stance. Next is ankle joint. So in ankle joint, gastrocnemius muscle as well as the soleus muscle which will act as an eccentrically and to oppose the function of this muscle, they will work as an dorsiflexors, and they will oppose the movement of the dorsiflexors. They will oppose the movement of the dorsiflexion muscle, and they will control the tibia. They will control the tibial rotation into the advance. So this is about the hip, knee and the ankle joint during the foot flat through mid stance position. So next is mid stance to heel off joint motion that we will see into the next video. Thank you.